The movie begins with a mysterious disc-shaped object soaring across a vast landscape, casting an eerie shadow. At a secluded waterfall, a cloaked figure stands, revealing itself as a humanoid alien. The enigmatic being sheds its cloak and consumes a dark, ominous liquid. However, this elixir brings excruciating pain and triggers a grotesque transformation from within. The alien's body disintegrates and dissolves into the water, leaving us wondering about its origin. As we delve deeper into the story, we're introduced to an archaeological team in Scotland. They stumble upon a cave dating back 35,000 years. Among the team, Elizabeth Shaw and Charlie Holloway examine ancient cave drawings, interpreting them as an invitation from an unknown entity. Their discovery sets the stage for a thrilling adventure. In deep space, aboard the USS Prometheus, we meet David, an android who monitors the crew in cryogenic sleep. David possesses the unique ability to explore the dreams of the slumbering crew members while conducting his activities. As the ship approaches its destination, the mission director, Vickers, awakens from cryo-sleep and instructs David to rouse the crew. Elizabeth and Holloway are among the crew members who emerge from their slumber. During a briefing, they view a holographic message from Peter Weyland, the elderly owner of the Weyland Corporation. Weyland introduces David as his closest semblance to a son and designates Elizabeth and Holloway as the leaders of the mission. The presentation includes images from ancient civilizations depicting mankind seemingly worshipping towering beings who point to the stars. These beings are believed to be engineers, responsible for engineering humanity. The crew is bound for a distant star system, a planet capable of supporting life, in pursuit of answers about these enigmatic beings and their connection to humanity. Elizabeth and Holloway convene with Vickers in her secluded module, described as a lifeboat, complete with a rare and expensive medical pod. Vickers, skeptical of the mission's purpose, dismisses the ancient cave drawings as mere scribbles from primitive civilizations. She warns them not to tamper with anything on the planet's surface and insists on regular reports, emphasizing that her company is the mission's financial sponsor. Later, the ship skims across the planet's surface, and Holloway spots peculiar, unnatural structures. Captain Janek lands the ship nearby, and a survey team, including Elizabeth, Holloway, and David, along with crew members Milburn, Fifield, and Ford, don protective suits for their excursion. Janek and Vickers monitor their progress through helmet cameras. The team reaches a pyramid-like structure and enters it. Fifield deploys probes to map the interior, generating a map on the ship's flight deck. Upon discovering that the atmosphere inside the pyramid is breathable, Holloway removes his helmet, and the others follow suit. Inside, David examines carvings on the wall, which are coated in a strange mucus. As he runs his finger across them, the symbols illuminate, triggering a holographic display of large alien figures rushing toward the team. As they observe the hologram, one of the figures falls, and the team investigates, finding the remains of an ancient alien that was crushed by a closing door. David deciphers the alien language on the door. Feeling uneasy, Fifield and Milburn decide to leave together. Elizabeth estimates that the deceased alien is over 2,000 years old. David manages to open the door, revealing a colossal humanoid head and a series of murals. Elizabeth and Ford examine the dead alien's head, and Elizabeth cautions the team not to disturb anything within the enigmatic structure. While David investigates some cylinders containing a dark, enigmatic liquid, Elizabeth becomes alarmed, realizing that these cylinders have altered the atmosphere inside the structure. She and Ford attempt to retrieve the deceased alien's head for further examination. Back on the ship, Janek receives a warning of an approaching storm and orders the team to return immediately. David secretly pockets one of the cylinders, and as he exits, the black liquid begins to leak onto the floor. During the frantic race back to the ship, Elizabeth accidentally drops the alien head. She rushes back to retrieve it, but the encroaching storm engulfs her. Holloway attempts to assist her, and both are eventually saved by David. Janek realizes that Fifield and Milburn are missing and lost within the pyramid. He contacts them, promising a rescue in the morning. Later, Elizabeth and Ford closely examine the alien head, discovering that it wears a helmet. With David's assistance, they remove the helmet, revealing a humanoid head that appears to be in a state of transformation. Stimulating the brain, they inadvertently cause it to mutate further, leading to a sudden, explosive demise. David stands next to a cryopod, wearing a helmet, and engages in a mysterious conversation. He activates the cryopod and later encounters Vickers in the corridor, informing her that they responded with, "Try harder." As Elizabeth and Ford continue their examination, they uncover that the head possesses DNA identical to that of humans. David opens the cylinder he had retrieved, revealing alien material. He dips his finger into the black liquid, initiating a fateful sequence of events. In a conversation with Holloway, David slyly asks what lengths Holloway would go to uncover the reasons for their journey. Holloway responds with anything and everything, and David discreetly contaminates Holloway's drink with the black liquid, setting the stage for unforeseen consequences. Within the pyramid, Fifield and Milburn stumble upon a grim sight: a pile of alien bodies. Yannick briefly detects a life form near them, but it mysteriously vanishes from the map. He dismisses it as a glitch, but Fifield and Milburn grow increasingly uneasy, choosing to distance themselves from the area. In their quarters, Elizabeth shares the DNA results with Holloway, leading to a conversation about the origins of life. Elizabeth reveals her inability to have children, prompting a deeper connection between them. On the flight deck, Vickers examines the map, and a brief flirtation with Yannick ensues. They agreed to meet in her quarters in 10 minutes. Shortly afterward, Fifield and Milburn encounter a snake-like creature in the pyramid. Milburn recklessly reaches out to touch it, and the creature wraps itself around his arm. Panic ensues as Milburn screams for Fifield to cut it off. In the process, the creature's blood sprays onto Fifield's helmet, melting the glass and causing severe burns. It then enters Milburn's suit and disappears down his throat. Holloway awakens later, only to discover something amiss with his eyes. Yannick contacts Holloway and Elizabeth, concerned about their inability to reach Fifield and Milburn. A team returns to the pyramid, while David departs in a buggy to repair a faulty probe. Vickers instructs David to transmit his video feed to her exclusively. As David explores, he encounters more mysterious cylinders and alien bodies. When he discovers a control room, he disables the feed, preventing Vickers from monitoring his activities. David examines holographic images of the humanoid aliens, uncovering a map of the galaxy with Earth as their destination. He also finds another body in a pod that appears to be alive. Inside the pyramid, Holloway falls ill, and the team discovers leaking containers filled with black liquid. They also stumble upon Milburn's lifeless body. While examining Milburn, Ford makes a horrifying discovery. Something is inside Milburn's throat, and the snake-like creature suddenly emerges, slithering away into the darkness. As the team returns to the ship, Holloway's condition worsens, and he screams in agony. Vickers, recognizing that he is infected, refuses to allow him back on board. Holloway instructs the rest of the team to leave without him. In a chilling turn of events, Vickers kills him with a flamethrower. Later, David examines Elizabeth, revealing that she is pregnant with an unconventional fetus. He keeps the details from her, and she begins to convulse. David administers a sedative. Ford, wearing a biohazard suit, arrives to return Elizabeth to cryo-sleep. However, Elizabeth remains conscious and fights desperately to escape. She makes her way to Vickers' room and surgically removes the creature from her womb using the medical pod. The creature is confined inside the pod as Elizabeth activates decontamination procedures. Suddenly, Fifield's camera activates, revealing him outside the ship. He gains entry and begins to attack the crew members. Yannick ultimately kills him with the flamethrower. Meanwhile, Elizabeth stumbles upon a room containing David, a team of medics, and Peter Weyland. She realizes that Weyland had been on the ship all along in cryo-sleep and expresses her desire to meet the engineers. Although Elizabeth believes the engineers are all dead, David reveals that one of them is still alive. Yannick discovers Elizabeth's intention to join Weyland's team, and despite his efforts to dissuade her, she remains resolute. He promises to do whatever it takes to ensure that no alien material makes its way back to Earth. In a surprising revelation, Vickers meets with Weyland, disclosing that he is her father, adding a layer of complexity to their relationship. As the team returns to the pyramid, Elizabeth hesitates to remove her helmet, despite David's assurance that Holloway's infection wasn't airborne. He also confirms that the mysterious cylinders are in the cargo hold. Yannick studies the map and realizes that the pyramid itself is a ship. David leads the team to the flight deck, revealing that the aliens were preparing to depart for Earth before something went awry. He believes he can communicate with the aliens. They examine a dormant alien body, which suddenly awakens and stands up. Elizabeth demands answers about their intentions and animosity toward humans. However, Weyland intervenes, instructing David to convey that, "We have come, just as you requested." In a shocking turn of events, the alien creature seizes David and violently decapitates him. Elizabeth manages to escape as the alien attacks the rest of the team, while Vickers watches Weyland's death through David's camera feed. The alien activates the ship, and Elizabeth races back toward the Prometheus. As the alien ship emerges, she informs Janek of the impending danger, pleading with him to stop it, emphasizing the catastrophic threat it poses to Earth. Vickers chooses to leave the ship in an escape pod, while the remaining crew members decide to assist Janek. Janek ejects Vickers' lifeboat module and crashes the Prometheus into the alien spacecraft. Meanwhile, Vickers and Elizabeth dash across the planet's surface as debris from the collision rains down upon them. Tragically, Vickers is struck and killed, and Elizabeth becomes buried beneath the debris, fighting for her survival in the face of overwhelming odds. Elizabeth climbs out from beneath the debris with just 2 minutes of oxygen remaining and heads for the lifeboat module. Inside, she hears a strange noise and cautiously investigates. To her shock, the creature that was surgically removed from her womb is still alive. Amid this peril, David contacts her and warns that the humanoid alien is also closing in on her location. In a desperate bid for survival, Elizabeth releases the creature, which viciously attacks the humanoid alien while she makes her escape. The two deadly adversaries engage in a gruesome battle, with the creature inserting a tentacle into the mouth of the alien, seemingly killing it. Back outside, Elizabeth, emotionally overwhelmed, is approached by David, who pleads for her assistance. He knows of other ships nearby that he can operate. Elizabeth, however, is determined to go to the homeworld of the aliens, seeking answers to the mysteries of humanity's creation and the impending threat they pose. She leaves a haunting message for any future explorers, warning them to stay away from this perilous place, a realm of death she is leaving behind. Together, they depart in another alien spacecraft. However, back on board the lifeboat module, the humanoid alien begins convulsing, and a new, terrifying creature bursts out of its chest with a fearsome roar.